as possible to scale into the equipment and try and find some of these kills early on to be able to contest into Realm of Yangs. Is GG, like we said, immediately going to be dropping onto FPX, and poor old Corki just gets taken down immediately. AlexM gets his hand on a great rarity pole sword, but that is more than enough for poor FPX, who don't have weapons. 2 of their players weren't able to open a single trove, Jake, before GG were on top of them.
Yeah, they just got run down real quick. That's unfortunately just a luck of the drop there for the side of FPX. GG quite happily able to grab those weapons in time. But kind of just quickly going back to the Wolves point, my main concern is when you play Monk and no one else is playing the Transformer comp, you're such a big target on your head. There are, I believe, 6 blind date comps in here, all have the ability to kind of lock down and CC that Monk almost indefinitely if they all keep throwing their CC at the Monk. And I do worry for Wolves. So the onus is on Wolves to execute this well. I'll be very interested to see how they play it out. Right now, we haven't had a look in on them.
It's going to be around capture the Spirit Well. That, I think, is why Transformers is coming back in, right? Because with the Spirit Well, when you're actually inside that dome, all of the teams on the outside can't actually fire into the teams who are on the inside of it. However, the teams on the inside can still fire at the teams on the outside, and that includes Monk grabs. So it means that you can literally just have your Monk go for that transformation, sit in the middle of that Spirit Well, and no one wants to contest because they're worried about being grabbed.
No, again, I kind of understand the theory of it. I have my concerns just due to some of the picks, but you know, I'm always willing to be proven wrong. Actually, not when it comes to Monk. I'm sad about the return of Monk, but I am willing to be proven wrong here, as Wolves have got themselves that drop. EG only rocking the grey armor, so will, like you said, scales on gear, wants to get higher level gear, but it's easier to get that purple gear nowadays because you can get them out of the shops. If you got enough of the Dark Tide coins. It's JL getting himself in a fight here versus JJH. TXJ able to jump down with that staff, just get a couple of a bump off there. Gonna come in for the scale rush. Now there's a stun coming in from this Viper. TXJ is actually able to break away. Tap dodges out of that one. Now though, in a 1 versus 2, low HP is gonna throw down his own Viper stun. Just needs to try and avoid and evade. Has been able to do so successfully, and that is beautiful there for the side of JL. Able to take out JJH. TXJ played that really, really close, but was able to survive and make it out. And now we're going to cut over to Wolves. Got themselves in a fight versus JDG. Immediately, though, JDG lose 2 players, and that could just be the end of days for them. Wolves. Beautiful little tidy up there.
Yeah, and no ultimates invested either, which is absolutely huge. Transformers, one of the things that really struggles early on is if you have to throw those ultimates into a fight, you risk getting third-partied, and with so many Tessa Viper teams, that is going to be something that Wolves are hyper aware of. Speaking about those Viper teams, it's actually really interesting because Transformers has started coming back into the mix. We've actually seen a return. Some of these Vipers are running the V1, which is the 5-second stun, as opposed to the silence, which is something that we've seen a lot of these teams actually now start to pivot over to, so that they can just stop those abilities from coming out if they're running into things like the Sand Siphon. As GG comes on in with that F3, AlexM will be able to find a connection. Yoda's going to be dropping that F to be able to buy some zoning. Farrier Mech comes out as well. AlexM's going to try and cover that one. Peak slides into position, but AlexM with that Hang Sword, make sure to zone him further away. And this is GG baiting out ultimates from the side of Bowder. They've still got that Viper ultimate. They haven't used it just yet. Now we're going to see it. The silence starts to come through. And as a result, Bowder are not going to be able to use a single one of their ultimates, but they've already popped all of them. It doesn't matter if you can't activate your ultimate with the silence. If the ultimate's already on the field, we do have the Wuchen teleport, and they will be able to reposition. But that is still going to be incredibly risky for GG, as TE going to be coming in with that Viper V1. There's the 5-second stun. There's the Wuchen teleport. That's exactly what Han wanted, however, because they'd lost one of their players. The pop of that V1 was purely to buy the red space, but Alliance with the third party on that Xiphon. Immediately, Zai comes in with the F3 lane, landing that damage. TE still having that Wuchen teleport available, will be able to get the rest onto LYD. Going to the outskirts of Celestra, as Alliance still managed to track down one One Thing, and now 3 on 1. However, One Thing with the Dragon Slaves into Ness is absolutely huge. Lane will be able to find the reposition with the Ep.1 into that Zai ultimate to get that cooldown back, and they're just chasing this Wu Chen away from the rest of his team as, oof. One Thing goes down, but he's bought the space for his other 2 players to just reposition and live a little bit longer, which is crucial because if you actually look, TXJ has purple armor. This is not something that they want to give up soon.
That was a beautiful third party there from Alliance, though. Coming in, securing a kill onto TE, only getting the one, not overstaying their welcome, and then taking out the next team as well. Just getting a single player there as well. Just putting a couple of kills here and there together, not investing too much. They did burn the Zai ult though, so that is something we do have to keep our eye on if they want to jump into a realm with Yang. See, this is the triple meteor version of the Zai as QGG looking just to come in for a fight, and that Bane's Breath beautifully placed by KLA absolutely melted OUG, and their unlucky streak does seem to continue as Alliance have got themselves in a fight here versus TE. Leo trying to break away from this one. Hand's got that scale rush, trying to find Liam, but not actually able to get it. Is going to get the counter off onto Bo. Beautiful charge with the staff, but is going to get interrupted off the back of that one. Alliance do have the Bane's Breath, so they have that little bit of room to work with. Han gonna throw down the ultimate, trying to catch them out for the moment. Does get himself a kill on to Leo. Sorry, that's Revenge who actually took out Leo. TE starting to crumble here. Alliance finding their opening. Han has got the scale rush, actually cancels it away. It's interrupted by Revenge, and in comes TXJ with a third party. Coming in to finish up Han. Alliance is just going to have to cut their losses and give up on that kill, pick up their teammate and get the hell out of there. But TXJ is going to come in and stop them from picking Bo up. They're trying to get Bo back. They still got the Bane's Breath for a little bit longer. Lian goes very, very low. The silence, the lockdowns, everything being thrown down. TXJ is not going to be able to connect with the tether from the ultimate. And it looks like Alliance are able to break away, but they lost a player in the midst of that. And they don't have the rebirth on Bo either.
Oh, but Revenge gets found. Oh, no. And immediately JL just swarm. Revenge is going to go down. That's really unfortunate for Alliance. JL with the absolute textbook third party, able to just come in, clean up TE without burning ultimates, and then turn on to Alliance taking advantage of the team trying to find that revive, just leaving them too vulnerable. As Alliance's unlucky streak continues, they run directly into JJH. The F3 from Flames is going to seal the fate, and that is going to be Alliance, I believe, fully knocked out of this lobby.
No, they got 2 people with rebuffs.
Oh yeah, they do actually start to move over towards that soul altar. They can try and find a rebuff charm to be able to buy that third up. As we can have a look and see, unfortunately, that is bad timing for Alliance because they're now going to miss out on the realm of Yang, and this is absolutely crucial when it comes to scaling and also stacking up these kills, right? Getting a realm of Yang win allows you to access Vermilion Bird's Might, which allows you to go super aggressive because you have a revive just in case. Wolves gonna be putting themselves into this one for sure. They've got the purple armor and purple weapon onto EG. You can see that realm of Yang right on their left. They're just going to check the area and make sure they're not going to get griefed on entrance by some of these Tessa Viper teams. Capture the Spirit Well, starts to proc on up. GG going to be taking control of this one. JDG going to actually contest them for it. There's the Zai F3 immediately coming in. Tutor getting the reset on that V2. That's the second cast of the F3. The third is still going to be coming into play. However, this is the Viper Silence as opposed to that V1, which means the Matari was not going to be able to use the ultimate to be able to break away from it. GG now throwing out that Tesla ultimate. The Matari ult does come through, but GG have been able to get a kill. Unfortunately, however, by actually using that Wuchen teleport, they give up the space and allow the capture the Spirit Wall to potentially go to FPX, who just showed up with their ultimates fresh on the scene. As inside the realm of Yang, we're going to see Wolves going head-to-head with the Oji.
Yeah, G gets himself up in the sky for the moment, holding on to that ultimate, not throwing it down immediately. Wuxin just evading and avoiding. It looks like DRG are just trying to fake these ultimates out and then play the fight that way around, as EG is going to get opened up onto. Loses half his shield, but nothing too major yet already. Zem has been forced to transform, and now DRG have themselves a little bit of advantage. They're just waiting out these transforms. EG still not going for his transform, waiting for his team's transform to also be burnt out and then come in for the cover on that monk transformation. But They haven't really made much headway here into DRG yet. They are actually seeing DRG members healing in the distance as EG waiting for the opportunity to find his transformed. They do not catch out on to WFG. He is going to still be able to break away. And now EG finally going in for the transform. Able to scoop up one. Going to get a whole bunch of damage onto Xi. Xi loses a massive chunk of HP. The regrab comes in. Can they stop this from happening? They've got the healing from the zip bow to make sure Xi doesn't go down. Not going to be able to find the regrab this time. And now EG, low HP, can't find himself another grab. He's burning low, even with the healing coming in onto him. He loses so much HP. Nobody has gone down yet. And WFGZ has actually been able to full heal. EG low HP, no transform, no bell, nowhere to go. They have found themselves one kill onto DRG, though. They found a little bit of a turnaround. 2 members of DRG go down, and it's onto WFZ to go 1 versus 3. The health bars are low across the board. This is anyone's game to take here. Can he make the miracle happen? No, he can't. Wolves take it.
See, this is such an interesting adaptation coming from the Transformers team, because they're on the Kurumi V2 rather than the V1. The V2 is the armor circle, not the actual heal, which means that instead of having the Kurumi ultimate to heal the monk when he goes low, you actually use the V2 at the beginning of the fight before the monk has transformed to be able to just live through all of the ultimates that come out from teams like that Siphon. It does mean, however, that you risk when you have that monk ultimate getting absolutely fried by just pulse or just mincing down on your legs, but they're able to do enough displacement with the grab, even though the zip is able to find that heal and keep them alive even after the reverb grab comes through. We're still able to keep our monk alive because we don't have 3 players. It's instead 2 that we're fighting. OUG now going to be dropping onto JDG. Smolch ultimate dropped into position. Gonna be stopping JDG from controlling the spacing with the ballista that 2-tick is currently on top of. We say it's always good for one. It might be good for you, as he's forced into using that Cicada ultimate. Still has all 4 of his shells. Is probably going to use it to try and get 2-tick off of that ballista. That's exactly what he does. But the Zai returns with a vengeance. Every directly towards the Cicada. You swaps over to the fan to be able to get the scale rush and come in with that charged vertical and keep the pressure onto the players of JDG. Keck goes incredibly low, goes down. Pure and shove and musket shot follow-up going to be taking him down, as you, having dispatched with that ballista threat, now gets to clear the space for his teammate to take it over instead. Anything you can do, we can do, but
right.
eats the ballista bomb straight to the cranium and just evaporates in the blink of an eye.
You're right, it's good for one, but turns out it was OUG who used it for their good. Beautiful pick up there. Now Flames finds himself getting caught out by the parry there from ZK. Wolves, 6 kills under their belt already. Desperately trying to put even more together. Flames actually steps back into the zone just to get himself away from the action and heal back up. But now finding himself pinned in by Wolves. 3 members hounding onto him. Flames can't find a room to breathe. Low HP is going to get whipped out by the Wuchen port to safety, but Wolves now being gatekept by JL. Transforms have been used, and this is what we were talking about. When you use those transforms, you put a target on your back. Wolves luckily have to have a million bird smite, so this isn't the end of the world for them, but that was a rough third party. JL, beautiful capitalization on this, taking out all of Wolves and slingshotting up to 9-10 kills. They're hot on the heels of Wolves' place right now in the standings overall, as KLA finishing up the OUG members.
So this is actually really rough for Wolves. I think they lost a majority of their weapons, because even though when you revive with a million bird smite, you normally keep your loot, they got parried. They definitely lost the van. And that is really unfortunate, because they've been playing off of the fan. They use the dual halberds to lock these players into position or force them to have to dodge away from the charge right click, which opens up the space for the charge vertical on that fan to be able to follow through and catch a player's spine before they're ready to parry. It's something that they've been using inside the realm of Yang. It's why they've been doing so well in the 3v3s when ultimates have been removed from the equation, as KLA 17S gets removed from the lobby. OUG is the king, charges at the Dragon Slayers, doesn't full send it into KLA, instead just uses the movement to try and keep himself further away from this team using that zip ultimate. We're gonna try and live. Yoda ultimate comes on through. CXE has had enough. He wants to find this kill, and he wants to find it fast, because KLA are fighting inside the zone. They'll be able to pick up the zip. However, OUG's SS is in the area. He doesn't want to show himself is the problem. Kaleo right to run right past him. Okay, we catch the scale rush onto the Yodo. Foresight the F. We are going to see that F2 come into play. CXG doesn't throw out the golden frame. Just holds himself a little bit further away. We get the reinforcement as well come through. However, the swap over to the longsword from SS. He wasn't expecting to have to deal with the charged vertical spam. And he's actually able to find the pick onto QGG before he goes down. And now CXC, I don't know if he's going to be able to lift this. His health bar is absolutely tanking. He's got the... Didn't take the time to go for a Vitalia proc, Jake, and he goes down.
That is heartbreaking. I don't think Wolves actually were contested inside that realm of Yang. While watching all of that action, I think Wolves just got a free realm of Yang. They did keep the golden fan, luckily. They've also got a golden staff as a backup. So
it wasn't a golden fan that got parried. It was a purple.
Oh, okay. Well, even better then. They got a golden fan now. So, you know what? I'm sure they're okay with that trade offer. As JL finishing up TE, LYD, down they go. There's been a lot of action actually briefly. During all of that, Alliance were actually the first team out of the lobby. That's got to be heartbreaking for them because they got 6 kills. They're not going to get any multiplier, any placement points off that. It's just the 6 points coming in for them. Still got a long way to do to catch up to where they were on the 3rd bi-weekly. Right now, they were way further up in the lead as seeing Leo just getting caught out by the staff. Such an irritating weapon to fight into. And Leo, down he goes. TE are going to go with him. And just like that, we see 5 teams eliminated from the lobby in a very, very short period of time.
I mean, it's an aggressive lobby, right? The test of the Viper Wuchan, this is an always active composition. There is no downtime. There is no lull. You're always looking for kills. You're always looking for teams that are fighting or teams that are trying to disengage a fight or split themselves so that they can prioritize survival. Like, they'll throw one quite literally to the wolves, but their other 2 teammates can survive, and that is just perfect fodder for the Tesla team to be able to take advantage of. Speaking about wolves, they are on the prowl. They have Mystic Might. That's going to be pinging off players' locations on and off. Unfortunately for them, the fight is currently over in Shadow Jade, and they are nowhere near. Ryder, CFPX. Yuan does not want to take the fight currently. We do know that these Realm of Yangs did just finish. So there are going to be teams who do have those buffs who are going to be getting aggressive looking for those fights, and this should potentially be a lull, as everyone who has kills wants to play it fully safe. We are going to see a replay. This is how Alliance, unfortunately, I believe, went down. They are finding a kill onto DRG. However, WFC with that first charge of the vertical and that pole sword, and then the reposition with the Zai F3. Revenge is already down. The parry from the pole sword, the full follow-up damage. Lane runs around the outskirts, tries to come in with the charged vertical, gets spotted, has to jump cancel out of it. But WFC is still inside that Zai ultimate and is doing significant work to just chunk Bo down, and immediately he's gonna fall. And it's just a 1v1 Zai versus Zai. Lane gets hit just in the back of the spine by that ultimate. Wanted to try and turn it around on the Zai with the pulse, but WFC is able to find the interception with the ultimate first. And he's going to be able to pick the mirror Zai as the ultimate gold frame comes through.
Absolutely huge there. Alliance, sad to see them go in this game. They're actually playing very, very well, but they just had a few bad fights. That one where they got third-partied, very, very unlucky for them, because it started with them doing a really good third party, and then they're like, right, we'll finish up the stragglers, and then get third-partied after they've thrown everything out. Wolves, though, very, very smart play here in a very aggressive lobby. A lobby where I was concerned they would get kind of harassed for being a monk and the only monk in the lobby. They've done a good job of staying out of the limelight while picking up a bunch of kills. They're not at the top of the kill lead, though. They're very, very close to, I think it's JL, who are in second right now with 12 kills. So they've got, you know, a potential competitor for MVP this game. I have to keep our eyes on JL. Is GG? Oh, yeah, there it is. JL, very, very aggressive right now, playing the blind date. Your team absolutely excels at third-partying and just playing interrupt during all of this.
Yeah, but they're running the silence. They're running the F2 and the V1, so 5 seconds done. This is traditional Viper before we saw everyone start to turn over to the V3 so that the Viper could join the rest of the team and get their hands pretty dirty, as well as having that silence and being able to cancel out the use of those abilities. I wonder if this is either to do with the Transformers or because the Matari composition has started to come back to the forefront, as we are going to see GG now taking a fight with JL and JDG also in the area. Tesla ultimate comes through. TXJ does get caught by that V1. The 3-second enchantment window, however, wearing off. Good Wu-Chen wind wall to make sure that GG aren't able to capitalize. They are going to continue to chase on to JDG. They've spotted that this is someone who doesn't have two other teammates flanking them. So if they get pressured by GG, they could potentially peek into taking the hit instead. Zip is alone currently, as we do see one thing taking a little bit of pressure from Wolves, who are also in the area. Oh, that's going to be really problematic for Wolves. Like, this is a really good composition with the Transformers to be able to take advantage of Spirit Well. However, Transformers is notoriously difficult to be able to pilot if we do see Shadow Jade as a final zone because of all the verticality. As EG is going to go into the zone, do a little bit of shopping. FPX a little bit behind in that rotation, making sure to put the pressure onto JDG's Keek so that no one tries to initiate onto Xiaohu, who is incredibly low. We get the Tessa V1 coming through, locking down the JDG player, and he will fall. FPX are going to be able to clean that one up. GG. Thinking that maybe they could snipe that one out. Unfortunately, not going to be in time, sliding away immediately before they get turned onto. That's the great thing about using a Tessa. If you see one player and you want to be able to confirm that kill, you can throw out the V1. And if there is a team sniffing around for the third party, they still a lot of the time can't actively take the engagement afterwards because they know you could potentially have a second ultimate to throw out once that first V1 has burned through.
Alrighty, 8 minutes left in the game. 19 players left, and like you were saying, depending on where this goes around Shadow Jade, it could be rough for GG, although there are still a few open areas left and available. Even so, there's a lot of rocky terrain. But if you're about where we are now on Shadow Jade, you still have a lot of kind of like open spaces for EG to capitalize off this monk. It's gonna have to do some work because right now JL are in MVP position, potentially based on the amount of kills they've got. Is EG, are they gonna full commit, jump in to the well with the monk transformation and gain control of it, or are they just gonna happily give it over to the side of GG? GG look to be pretty much uncontested here. Yeah, they're gonna get the Spirit Well for free, grab all the goodies. Instantly JJH jump in, try and steal themselves a couple of goodies. GG quite happily got what they needed and get out.
Yeah, so this is actually pretty smart from Wolves. They know that there's going to be another Spirit Well. They've already got a lot of legendary weapons, which is really good for the damage scaling aspect of the Monk Ultimate, right? And they don't want to reveal their hand. If they went into the Spirit Well and they immediately had EG go for that transformation, every single team in this area is going to know that there's a Transformers team around. And if you look at the teams that were currently contesting for that Spirit Well, they all had the Viper, they all had the Tessa, they all had the Wu-Chan. And this is a composition that traditionally was run of the Yodo, but it is still, even with the Tessa, pretty painful for Transformers to have to deal with. So Wolves are going to be playing it as quietly as they possibly can. There's one Aurora Burst. That's the first we've actually seen from that Soldier coming through. I think GG might just have picked it up from that Spirit Well as they're going to immediately reposition. FPX hot on their heels. And we can see, oh yeah, it looks like it might actually be a final zone collapse directly into the heart of Shadow Jade. That is going to be pretty rough for the Transformers team. Bane's Breath now starts to drop on through. And as a result, we should see all of these teams start to back on up. No one wants to have to surf through the middle of that one with how accurate Bane has been. Bowder taking refuge inside this cave. A very TE style of play. You can see the fan verticals just throwing out on repeat, so no one can try and challenge on that entrance to the door as JDG on the low ground, hopefully not going to get spotted out by GG, but unfortunately too sick. Playing out of sight from all of these players puts them directly into one of the AoE hits from Bane. You just saw the ragdoll hit of him getting caught out. He's just having to spam heals right in the middle of that one and hope that Bane isn't accurate that the F3 is going to be able to let him reposition, but unfortunately it gives himself away. The Tessa V1 catches him, and he walks directly into the Bane. However, it's JJH's God Lee who's going to pay for his sins. As Bane says, everyone is equal in the eyes of AoE, and Godly eats a hit too. Fortunately for him, he is going to get the Wu Chen and the shield reset off of that wind wall before anyone is able to actually engage on him when he's low.
Oh wow, that was unlucky with the Bane's Breath. I mean, they were going down regardless, but always a classic. Getting Tessa's Heavered into, or Tessa Charmed into the Bane's Breath, and looking at where our final circle is, I would be a little bit miffed if I was Wolves right now. You are dealing with a lot of terrain, a lot of verticality, and a lot of buildings. It's going to be hard to pull that one off. And honestly, out of everyone, I think Bowder are probably one of the happier teams here, because remember that Yoto slices can go through the buildings, so potential for Yoto actually might be able to do a little something here. As for now, it is just a bit of a waiting game. There's still 18 players left in this game, so the lobby moved fast, but it definitely kind of hit the brakes towards the end of this game. Still plenty of teams in with a chance, as Uran is going to have to go into the mech. Let's get himself repositioned atop this tent. It's just going to force JJH off the high ground, as Bowder quite happily just going to use this opportunity to heal Uran's armor back up. He only has the blue armor, though, so very easy to pick off, and now the Tessa Charm coming down. Uran has to be very, very careful. JL, our kill leader, our scoreboard leader at the moment, taking a lot of cannon fire, have been able to reposition on the low ground, and will be able to get himself a full reset off, as GG still continue with that Aurora Burst to hold that low ground position for themselves as well. Out of the way of all of the action, and right dead center,
right in the middle.
Right dead center do we get the big contest zone. Everyone looking just to get themselves, more than anything, just a safe spot. Like, it's not even about contesting the gear. It's about making sure that you can't get hit in here. But I mean,
no one's going to contest that, though, because that is Aurora Burst.
Yeah.
That Biter are throwing out. No one wants to get that silence effect landed on top of them. Spiritwell should be captured in a matter of moments. I wonder if we're going to see JL attempt to try and slide through and grab some of this loot. You can see that Bida do know that there are teams around them. They know that there are teams below them as well. So Jing is coming in with that cannon. It is actually vertical hitbox as well on that dome. So everyone on the level below Bowder is actually utilizing the dome to be able to prevent the cannon pressure from the teams on the high ground. Wolves and JL are both prevented from being able to fire onto the likes of GG and FPX as long as Spiritwell is up. And I think for that reason, we're actually seeing Bowder decide not to fully cap until now. They wanted to sit on that as long as they possibly could to prevent that cannon fire from shredding through their resources. Now we're going to see the ultimates being invested. JL coming in with a huge Viper V1. Unfortunately, all it really does is buy themselves a little bit of downtime. TXJ gets hit by that Viper V3 and immediately just goes down. FPX turning onto the Viper the second the ultimate is out of play and now absorbing all of the resources that were available. Wolvesy G, however, is going to be able to find a couple of kills onto FPX's GG. Start to get active. Tessa V1 comes on through. Catches. Did it catch onto EG? Yeah, no, it did not. He was able to actually use the iframe on the Transformer ultimate to be able to stop that stun. Does manage to get the stomp and jump up onto the ground again to be able to reposition with the rest of his team. ZK gets the legendary armor for the Kurumi to be able to live as long as possible. That V2, if we do see it come through, is going to be able to keep the Kurumi up alive for as long as they possibly can. It's going to be the Tether instead onto the Yushan to get that defense up once we go for the ultimate to be able to cover our Monk EG. Takes a little bit of downtime, repairs the cannon, needs to start regenerating that rage to be able to get the ultimate back online if we go to a heal-off situation. Wolves on 8. JL, however, leading the lobby at the moment on 12, but it's just the Tessa that they have left available as GG get hit into JJH, which in teleport comes on through from Free-Fio. Should be able to find the revive. No, JJH's Godly is going to be able to track down Free-Fio and stop that one from coming on through. Wolves, however, waiting for the right moment. They lose the Yushan. They still have the Kurumi and the Transformer, however. as Free-Throw is still trying to find that tap onto his teammates and bring them back. Godly sees that Free-Throw is still going to be in play, grabs the Soul Bloom to get the heal reset and a little bit of rage charge and goes back in for the 1v1, but Wolves see the fight and claps onto it and get both of them in one fell swoop. EG now tries to pull that ultimate as quickly as he possibly can, swaps over onto those dual blades to be able to start cleaving through these players. The Karumi V2 is going to keep him alive as long as he plays inside that circle. Unfortunately for him, all it's going to do is heal the armor, not the health and zone. Corruption Tick ignores armor and goes directly into health bar, and as a result, it's going to be ZK on the Karumi, who gets the Soul Bloom resets. EG goes down before he can use the Monk ultimate and get the health reset, but the Karumi is still going to be able to sustain past everyone else.